Welcome back in, flag throwers. It is Friday, November 7th, and we have a very, very special guest with us today. It is Mike the Fort McKenry. And for those of you, baseball people, need a little jogging of the memory. Well, here, this will probably jog your memory.
0-2 count.
Fly ball in left field. Michael McKenry, the Fort! Oh, baby! Wow!
If you want to see the rest of that clip, go check it out on our socials because that is the full video. But just in case you might have missed it, had to play the first call because that is a legendary call a legendary hit. Yeah. Yes. Luke actually sent me that video the first time, and I was like, before even responding to it, I was like, dude, this is a legendary call. Go check that out.
I appreciate that. I really do. I thought you were going to go the 19-inning call with Mr. Mills.
It's coming.
Not right out of the gate, so thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, no problem. You're going to love it when little taking down the wall here. I'll post it as soon as we're done the full video. I'll tag you in it, obviously, so you'll be able to see it by the time this is coming out.
I'll send you some behind-the-scenes stuff if you want of it. Like, it actually has Greg Brown and reaction as it's happening. And
that's
just
sick.
a little story behind that. So that was my first home run.
Right.
In the major leagues and for the Pirates, obviously. I got a curtain call. We went into first place. It was in the 8th inning and gave us the lead. So there's a lot of, rich history behind all that because we had lost over 20 years, I believe, up to that point.
Yeah.
The first time they've been in first in over a decade. So it was a big moment. It was in July. I believe you couldn't ask for much more on your first home run. I got to get out of the dugout, bro, and tip my cap to 38,000 people.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it was so sick.
Hey, you want to know what's cool about that? So you'll see this at the end of the video, but I did actually include your curtain call as the end of the video. Hang on.
They want a curtain call from the Fort.
There we go.
They shoved me up there, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know, right? I'm 24, 25, rookie. I didn't know you do that. They're like, get up there. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, dude, that's so sick. That is so sick. That's what everyone dreams of, too.
Yeah, and I got it on my first homer. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so
it
sick.
was special. Yeah, that's why Pittsburgh is a special place to me. The fans and the city embrace you differently, especially if you go after it the right way. And that's why it's sad to see them over the last decade, not be able to put a winner out on the field. But the fans deserve it. Here's one. You can feel the incredible vibe. Good things happen. If there's a walk-off on a Friday night Apple game, if you look back to 2000, I believe, 23, when Santana hit that walk-off home run, dude,
I was at that game.
Absolutely bonkers, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredible place. It feels like the stadium starts to kind of wrap you around a little bit because it's not a big place. So I just hope hopefully this year, but in the next couple of years, we put some really good teams out on the field and start winning. Fans
we're gonna definitely get into that. More topical stuff, but obviously we got to ask you about your story first because that's what the people are tuning in for. Right. So the first thing, real simple, what made you fall in love with baseball? So
I always tell people I was born premature, and because of that, I slid out of the womb, and from there on out, I was ready from the gate, right? I was ready. So that's when I started loving the game. And for real, the reality of it is I loved playing. I was very hyperactive, always going 1,000 miles an hour. Put a ball in my hand, it didn't matter what shape it was, I was ready to go. And that was from being a wee puppy all the way up. But I guess when it really came to reality for me, I was 5. Who I thought was my grandfather at the time, he ended up not being. It meant enough to me. He gave me a glove and said, "You're going to play in the big leagues." Now, being a 5-year-old, I'm going to play in the big leagues. I also thought it was going to be still have the glove, but from that moment on, it didn't matter if a teacher asked me, what are you going to do when you grow up? I'm going to play in the big leagues. That was it. That's all I kept saying. Every book report, everything you do. So from 5 all the way up, I just kept saying the same thing, and I guess I talked it into existence. So I fell in love with just playing in sports in general. Basketball was my first love. I'm
okay.
Short challenge, so that didn't work out very well. But yeah, at the end of the day, baseball was the gift God waved his wand over me, and I was able, run as long as I could.
Man, yeah, that's awesome. So of that love, what made you pick catcher? Because that's a brutal position to play. I used to play catcher, but I obviously never made it to your level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a man spot, man. I always tell, I get to work with a lot of incredible catchers now, and you have to want to do it. And I felt like from 8 years old on, I was begging to catch. I was just athletic enough to play shortstop, left field, center field, first base. It didn't matter. As long as I was playing and I was willing to play anywhere as a good teammate and a kid that just wanted to play. I used to play, they tell you, oh, travel ball's killing everything. Dude, I used to play with 2 different teams during the weekend. I was nuts. Like, I loved it. So I would play wherever. Really, my junior year, I started catching more, and then a guy got hurt. And I ended up not having really an idea where I was going to go to school until the last minute. I went to MTSU. Nobody was recruiting me. And since then, I've been able to look back on my career. Dude, I was incredible. I still have like 10 or 11 state records that I didn't know about.
Crazy.
Top 10 and so many things with Todd Helton. And, you see in the Hall of Fame from Tennessee, I'm right next to him, but I was unnoticed because I didn't have a position. So they didn't see me as what I was until all of a sudden Kentucky, MTSU finally came to me and were like, will you catch? I said, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
They're like, we couldn't tell. I was like, man, that sucks. I tell kids all the time to find your but be willing to play everywhere. Find what you want, you believe your gift is. There's no coach, there's no parent can ever guide you in the right, because if you don't believe it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really exist. So that was a learning lesson. I've been able to pass as time's gone along to kids trying to get to that next level, because you do get lost, especially nowadays with the internet, social media, perfect game, all these things. Kids don't kind of balance it out, when to go to it, approach where they're at instead of looking at, oh, I'm not in the top 10. Well, duh, neither is how does it ever play the game. They'll never be in that top 10.
Yeah.
Just where we are now and how can they get next level.
Well, just to piggyback off Cole's question, as far as like your love for baseball, when did you realize, I'm pretty good at this. I think I can go to the league.
I mean, we all have that ego that hits us, So I would say at 12, I was no. You gotta stay with me here. I had 34 homers as a 12-year-old. I was bigger than everybody else. I was full grown. I was a man. So I was that kid that.
Check his birth certificate. Yeah.
Get his birth certificate. So like, I was a freak, but then everybody started catching up, and I think it was really after my senior year, and then I failed miserably my freshman year in college. I did have some really cool moments. I caught a perfect game start. My very first 2 hits were grand slams, so it was really cool. But then I hit 169, and I'd never failed before. So from that moment, I was like searching from the hospital, working too much. I wasn't sleeping. Went to summer ball, met a coach. He put his arm around me and said, "Bro, meet me here tomorrow morning." Gave me an address. I met him there, and he showed me 1 or 2 things to move a little bit better, and I took off.
Wow.
And it was that moment, once again, I had a man step in and kind of put their arm around on me and tell me something that I needed to hear or wanted to hear, but it changed everything for me because I looked at everything different. I stopped trying to be what everybody wanted me to be, and I was exactly what I was in the moment. So that moment after my freshman year, going to summer ball, having that help me, ended up being the MVP of the All-Star game. I was the All-Star at the end too. And I was like, okay, I'm good enough. I'm good enough to do this. I get better. Probably something that I probably weighed too much into because I was always looking for that next big thing, next thing that could make me better. But man, that freshman summer, after I failed, use that over and over again, after I failed, because you got to fail to see where you're actually at. And then once I overcame that, I'm like, okay, if I can do that, I went through all that, and I was miserable all year, fought through. We had a team. He knew what was going on inside my heart or in my soul. And, man, I went and I took off after that and had a weird season real quick. So when I got back, Coach gave me the job at me for playing all summer because I didn't catch. And I could play other places. He goes, are you going to catch? I said, yes, sir. I'm going to take care of my staff. He goes, since you said it's your staff, it is your staff. You're the guy. Take it away. So right out of the gate, I get my 45 pounds. Tell me I can't play that year. Play the first game, hit 2 homers, and then go 0 for my next 22. miss a bunt sign. He sits me for the rest of the weekend at a tournament.
Wow.
And really pulled me in his office next day. You have one more shot to go out and do your thing. Don't pout. Don't whine. And I went off. As I was going conference play, or 2 weeks into conference play, I get MRSA in my knee. They cut out my knee. You may lose your leg. So I go into surgery. I have no idea what MRSA means. I'm like, okay, is that some like military thing? I have no clue what's going on. Get out, have tubes in my knee. I can barely stay awake when they open up my antibiotics I have to take because it's a malignant staph infection. My newly girlfriend, soon to be, I'd say in the next 3 to 4 years, who I ended up married, she's here now, 19 years in, has to be in like this house.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm 10 days there in the hospital, 7. And as soon as it heals up, my old school coach goes, "Can you play?" They said I can play. The wound heals and I can bend my knee because they scoped my knee. So 10 on the field, hit a homer Friday night, took off, and then I ended up playing summer ball, caught 70 games. We had catcher. I caught every bullpen, so I tore my other knee up. Had surgery that fall.
Wow.
I did. Had scout day, finished scout day, had surgery the next night, and then I was an All-American my junior year, which was my goal, and went off. But it was like, because of that failure, is as small as it may have seemed to everybody else, the big things that happened after that, losing 45 pounds, going from literally 210, 160, and not, because I'm so the goal ahead, that I tell kids all the time, be so vulnerable, willing to fall off a mountaintop, because you'll literally look at it and be like, oh, that's just a hill. I'm good. Instead of looking at it as a mountaintop. So often we chase success, and success is definitely the hardest thing to ever handle once you get there. But man, the failure along the way is all the lessons you need to be able to success and understand what you're doing up there and what it actually took. Because if you don't fail, you have of knowing when that bad does come, which it will come, what to do with it.
Yeah.
So that moment my freshman year is when I knew, all right, I can do this. It's because I just failed. I thought everything else was like Buddy the Elf. I was just happy-go-lucky. Everything was good. When baseball wasn't good, so that helped me a lot.
Thanks,
Buddy
Mike.
the Elf. Nice.
Yeah, I was.
Yes.
Dude, everything was good to me. You give me some syrup, I was happy.
Wow.
Well, you're talking about being an All-American. So when you got drafted, how did your draft day story go?
It sucked. If I'm honest. I mean, okay. So it's been cool because, I'm 40 years old now. I retired professionally in 17. So I went to all this. Dude, I was the last All-American taken.
Wow.
Wow.
So, the other names on that list was. So put in perspective, I think I'm going in the 2nd to 4th round. I end up in the 7th team I talked to once. And the night before the draft, I'm literally filling out documents and mailing them, or scanning them, or faxing them back in the day, I should say, because we were faxing them, at my wife's grandpa's house, because nobody that I knew had a fax machine, at 11 o'clock at night. My medicals, different questions that they were asking, and none of those teams called. None of those teams were even on the radar.
Wow.
And they all took catchers prior to. And, dude, there was 2 catchers in my conference got taken before me. So it was one of those moments I'm like, what type of test is this? So after that 5th round happened and a guy got taken, I was like, man, this went out and started shooting basketball. As soon as I started shooting basketball, I got a call, or at least my wife and everybody ran down and like, hey, you just got drafted. I was like, I know, I'm on the phone. Because if I fell to that 9th round, I was going back to school. So
Really?
went in the 7th round. Yep. I told my coach if I felt 9th, 10th round, I was going back to school. Because I did feel, from my understanding at that time, you had 60 rounds. So if you're not then, you're not going to get every opportunity to and figure it out, fail, and still get those at bats. If you fall deeper and you're not just an absolute slam dunk, they're just going to write you off and ship you out because there's so many guys. So it was a weird day. It was an amazing day at the same time. Weird day when I really look back at it, because if I had any understanding like I do now, I would have been pissed. but the reality of it is, I had nobody fighting for me to go higher, and that's what I say. Have people on your side that are willing to fight for you. That's why you need advisors, you need agents. I didn't sign an agent until after I got drafted, so there's advantage to those things. But man, I was just clueless. I just went into it. It was ball. Let's go play.
Nice.
Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. So, with your MLB career, you told us about your first home run, legendary home run. Tell us about your first hit.
Yeah. So I got called up in 2010. Probably had my worst minor leagues in 2010. It was a complete shell shock for me. I was a young buck. It was when they would actually haze you. I played travel game. If a guy threw over 95, I played because the veteran didn't want to play. It was a weird experience for me. We wore suits, and we had to travel with the suit in case you got called up. So I was sitting on the bench one day, and I'm like, "Hey, Stu is my manager." I'm like, "What's going on?" Lo and behold, he couldn't tell me, but I found out later on, one of our players was passing a kidney stone, and they had to put me on the bench and not tell me because I was technically on the taxi squad. So if he couldn't go, they were going to like, "Beat it, nerd, you're going to Denver," because we're an hour and a half drive away. So all that was like, what's happening? Like I would sit for 3 or 4 days. So there's a lot going on. But then I get called up. I got the call. My wife jumps on my back literally before my brain can even process it. So she's like a spider monkey. I go to the field on an off day. I packed my stuff up. I drove up the next morning. And then that entire month, I think I got 8 at bats. My last game, I started, hit third times. It was a beautiful game for me. Never forget my mom saying, "You did great, honey." I'm like, "Really? Is that how we're going with this?" 4 Ks. But that was a weird experience, too, because Jeff Suppan pitched. It was his last game. And I remember the umpire saying, "Hey, Rook, you better swing the bat today." First at bat, 9 pitches, 10th pitch. It's like this far. I'm out. Next at bat, same thing. So the 4th at bat, we had a reliever come in. I swung at everything. The first 3 pitches, I'm like, at least I got my swings off.
Yeah.
That was a learning experience. But then I go into the next year, spring. Jason Giambi takes my roster spot. I get traded to Boston. I go straight to spring training. I catch a game, get called in the office. They send me to Dallas. Say, "You just made the team." Then I get a call when I get there. Said, "Don't leave." I'm like, "Okay, how can I go to practice? We got an exhibition today. What's happening?" They're like, "No, you're staying there." I was like, "All right, I'll go work out." "No, you can't work out. Order in your room." 3 days later, they ship me back to Florida. I catch 2 of the prospects, and then I head to Pawtucket. End up getting traded to Pittsburgh. First night, we win the game. Houston, that's when I finally got my first hit. So I go over in that win against the Mets. I think we won 3-1. I hit 3 bullets, all outs, 2 diving plays. I'm like, it's just never gonna happen. We fly to Houston. I'm like, all right, we're in Rocket City. I gotta hit a rocket. It's gonna happen. Get in. Starting again. Jeff Carter down. So I'm just room service back there. First at bat, hit a bullet. It's caught. I'm like, it's never gonna. It's just it won't happen.
Wow.
Next at bat. Sure enough, I think it was. Throws a fastball natural. Dude, I hit it right off the label. Just floated like this. And I'm like, get over his head. And Clint Barmas, former teammate, jumped. And still today, I want to think he's such a good teammate. He kind of pulled his glove down. I had to go back and watch. He reached, and it just fluttered over his head. Like, grabbed it and pulled it. Because there's no way it should travel that far. And after that, I got another hit that game, and then it started rolling a little bit. But, dude, that first one, it's like this giant bag of on your back that just won't happen. And the defense is so much better. The way that they organize the defense is so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. So, like 0 for 3, 0 for 8. You're like, oh man, this gets big time. Like 0 for 15, 0 for 19. And you just hope that you're hot to the big leagues and it just rolls off your bat and it just falls naturally. But that's not normally the case. And I got to feel that because it was literally from September to the next year in June. I got that first hit. It felt like it could never happen. I didn't want to be one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Wait, so who was on the mound for the Astros when you got that first hit?
You there?
Oh,
Say it
good.
again.
Who was on the mound for the Astros when you got your first hit? Yeah.
J. Happ.
Oh, J. Happ.
J.
Okay.
Happ,
Okay.
nice.
Former Pirate for a time.
Former Pirate, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was a decent big leaguer.
Yeah, he was good.
I mean, yeah, if you like $100 million, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a decent big leaguer.
Decent big.
Yeah. So speaking of pitchers, we'll go into the next question. Was there a pitcher over your career that you owned? Someone that comes to mind that like every time that you faced them, it just seemed like they were throwing beach balls and you could just square it up on a regular basis.
I really liked hitting Greinke.
Okay.
Greinke?
Yeah, a lot. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, loved it. So much so that like he came up to me. Hey, I'm getting ready to catch a bullpen, and he's like, "Bro, how do you hit me?" We had a conversation about it. I'm like, "Well, one, I'm not telling you. I'm still competing against you." But like, we ended up having a great conversation, and I love that aspect of the game. But he's one guy that really stood. Reason, even that slow breaking ball. Most guys, I didn't see it for some reason. When it came out of his hand, I could see it every time. So he really had to throw me a ton of changeup. So it became, later on in my career, even when I faced him in 15, 16, and 17, I would just wait for anything hard. If he didn't throw it, I ended up walking. Because he would just, he honestly just walked me most of the time. So him, Homer Bailey was another guy that loved hitting off Chapman. I didn't have great numbers against him. But if you looked at expected batting average, if they had it back then, it had to be like 700. Because I went out almost every time I faced him. Anybody that threw hard, I love. I'll tell you who I hated facing is Familia, the Mets, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Fastball away. I'll never forget this. I'm like, dude, I was all over. And I was holding like a toothpick because my bat was like way over there. And I'm like, I went back and looked at it, dude. It moved like 17 feet. It was away. I did swing it at the right spot. Moved so much and I couldn't see it. He owned me.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like yeah.
Usually people say that Zach Greinke owned them, not normally that they like facing him. That's a pretty intimidating dude.
Dude, that I could tell you, Sam LaCroix, he could walk on the mound. I mean, this guy threw 88 miles an hour. It was straight. Every time I faced him, I popped up. Dude owned me. I couldn't do anything about it. Even in the minor leagues, I couldn't do anything about it. So, like, there's just certain dudes. Like, I saw Kurt. There's just certain guys that you see good, and there's other guys you don't. Like, the people ask me this, who's the hardest pitcher you ever faced? I saw Paulo on his best day. So, I remember when he was in Detroit, he dominated. And I'm like, I could never hit if I had to face him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I might as well just quit.
Wow.
I should go play cricket or tennis or ping pong.
Go play basketball.
Mini hoop.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, it's just weird. I mean, you guys probably played throughout your life, and there's certain guys you just see, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
when you see them, you're like, oh, let's go. Like, you could, anybody you put in Philadelphia, dude, I saw the ball so good there. Here, Cliff Lee, let's go. It doesn't matter. Hamels, let's go.
Citizens Bank
because
Park,
for some reason, I crushed at that park. I hit almost 500 at that park.
Holy crap.
I loved it.
Wow.
Jeez.
So
Yeah,
going more into your... Wait, go ahead, Cole.
I was just saying, not many people are excited to face Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels, especially back then.
I was not excited at all. Listen, I'll never forget, 19-inning game happened. I get the day off the next day, begging to play, but I don't get to. I think we had one more game there, played that game, then went to Philadelphia. So we ended up losing. I think we won one games there, so we were in Atlanta. Go to Philadelphia. My first 9 at-bats, I believe it was. Had no clue what to do. Lee Holiday. I had no shot. And then finally, reliever came in, throwing absolute fuzzsicles, and I hit the ball off the top of the wall, and I went like, thank you. Something I love that I did during that time is I called my bat company. I said, hey, Travis, I have a problem with my bats. And when I was in the minor leagues, I got a defected batch, which doesn't happen often, but these things were just crumbling. Like, they would just blow up.
Oh, wow.
I was like, not again, dude, not again. I was like, no. I have this, like, weird, like, sphere thing in the middle of my barrel. And the ball seems to just shift through it over and over again. I can't figure it out. every time I swing it, right through my barrel. Dude sent me another dozen back. Because he thought it was so funny. Yeah.
Wow.
You have to laugh about it because it wasn't just me. It was our whole team.
Yeah.
It was getting dominated, and it was so good. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Three great
if you can't have
pitchers.
fun with it, you're gonna go a little crazy.
Yeah. So going into more of, those playoff years with the Pirates, that time that we all long for. We have two players in specific we wanted to ask you about, their impact in the dugout, on the field. AJ Burnett, Andrew McCutchen. What do you have to say about those two guys?
Two different people, but they in their best way. Guys try to lead in a way that they were taught or told to do. AJ was kind of groomed and molded in a way that he became a real Pirate for us, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the big bad Yankees after being the guy in Florida and in Toronto. Then when he went to that big city, when he started to fail a little bit, they just really, I guess, treated him awful. And
That's New York for you.
yeah, that's New York, good, bad, or ugly, right? But he didn't. It's that English fans always loved him because the way he was hard nosed. When he Pirates, even when he walked in, he had the aura of the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
He had the look of a Pirate. So it was just almost like he was deemed our Jack Sparrow immediately as soon as he walked in, right? Like it was the guy to take the ship. And I think the thing for us was he gave us the veteran presence that we desperately needed. We were a young team because you have to have pushback towards the staff and the front office to be able to think different.
Mm-hmm.
And he would do that. He would protect young. He was the reason I got a suit and a watch from Russell Martin because he told Russell Martin, take care of him or you. And also you took his number and didn't call him. So he was the guy that was coming and doing things, not so much out front, but he would grab guys and love on them in a different way. He'd pull guys into his, because he had a suite on the road and they would play video games. And he would literally tell us to go eat and then the bill would, like, he would just do things that would make sure that he was taking care of AJ. He wasn't a guy that wanted to go out, do those things. But he also knew how important it was because when he was young, he did those things. So he made sure the team always trying to, I guess, collaborate together and be that team to build a culture of win. Because he saw what it could be, and we all did, but because he'd been there. So that was him. And then Kutch, dude, I think because of AJ, Rod Barras, Clint Barmas, and those guys that came in, it gave Kutch the freedom just to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a leader by example. When out there enjoying the game, having fun, and he's the kid that he is inside, and he can let that come out as an adult, you're going to win, period. Like, he's the guy that's just going to shut the door. Because when he's free, there's not many people that can play the game better. So that's how they led different. And AJ really poured into Kutch, knowing that Kutch was going to be a guy that made a lot of money in the game, was going to be approached by a lot of different people, to be asked for a lot of different things. So AJ really did a lot for Kutch. They still have a really cool relationship. I got to be with both of them a couple years ago, just listening to what all they did for each other, what they meant for each other, how they kept in touch. I'm still really close with Kutch. But hearing them kind of do that back and forth was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Still being able to be close with Kutch, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, he's a great human, dude. He's a great
I know.
human.
I've heard amazing things about him. I don't think I've ever heard a negative thing about Andrew McCutchen my entire life.
You probably never will.
Yeah, dude, he's a guy playing for Milwaukee, right? And I watched him play the night, and I texted him after the game. I was like, bro, you okay? Like, something bothering you? He was like, man, last night I was pulling weeds. I'm like, wait. Pulling weeds before the game? He goes, yeah. I said, Kutch, bro, go ask a gardener or some service. You're out of money for pull a weed again. What are you doing? You're supposed to hit baseballs, not pull weeds.
Yeah.
That's genuinely his heart. And, I mean, that was in 2021. I mean, this guy had been in the league for 13 years at that point.
Wow.
And he was pulling weeds at his house when he came in from Milwaukee to play the Pirates.
Wow.
That tells you what type of human being he is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he is a one of one, absolutely amazing human.
No
but
doubt. No doubt.
yeah,
That's why they
speaking
got
of
signed back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I always think of him as a Pirate, even when he was playing for the Brewers, and I'm blanking on who else he played for. But even when he's playing for them, I'm like, he's always a Pirate.
Giants in New York.
Yeah. He went around a little bit, but I was like, he's always a Pirate. But speaking of those,
and he wants to end here, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of those golden Pirate years, though, let's talk about the current Pirates. So, this this past season, it starts on the roster. It starts at the top, with the ace, Paul Skeens. And, last year he had a 1.97 ERA, and this year just absolutely unacceptable regression to a 1.98. You just can't be having that if you want to be a playoff baseball team. Clearly, that's the issue, that he went from a 1.97 to a 1.98. So yeah, Paul's got to be better. A 1.98 is not acceptable in Pittsburgh. But all jokes aside, though, I mean, we know what the Pirates need to do, but what do you think the Pirates will do?
Oh, wait. What do the Pirates need to do? I want to hear that part first.
Oh, what do they need to do? Well, is Bob Nutting selling the team? Because that would be number one on my list.
Okay, and you think it would get better?
Without a doubt.
Why?
I mean, you got to get it's like the Orioles. So we had John Angelos my entire life up until it was like 2 years ago he sold the team. And my entire life we had the mindset, like, I grew up during like the Manny Machado, like Nick Markakis, Adam Jones like era. And the whole time with Manny, my uncle, lifelong Orioles fan, my grandfather, lifelong Orioles fan, all they said about Machado is, when are we trading him? Like, that's just not how it would be, but that's not how it should be, but that's how it was, because John Angelos was that type of owner where if he's got to pay a guy like an extra like $800,000 to stay, he's not going to do it, or an extra $1 million to stay, or an extra year, or fully guarantee this, that. It doesn't matter. He wasn't going to do it. And there's so many owners like that across baseball, but I think Bob Nutting is like the face of that because he has Paul Skeens, and every Pirates fan I know is like, oh, he's going to get traded. That shouldn't be how it is. So, and I know he's got money. He sold that resort, so I know he's got money in the bank. He ain't fooling me.
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice owner. There's no doubt he has money.
That's what I'm saying. You're not fooling me, Bob. I know you got it in the bank. Okay. So Pittsburgh, like you said at the top of the show, deserves a winner. So yeah. I think if they sold it, because correct me if I'm wrong, Mark Cuban tried to buy the team at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that try to buy the team, but like, all right, I'm going to do what Greg Brown does and play devil's advocate. How much money is enough money?
For what? To sell the team?
The Pirates. And listen, I'm not defending the Pirates. I'm defending baseball.
No, that's fine.
Because the Orioles also did a great job of that owner over the last 5 to 7 years. Drafts have been better. Their player development's been better. Their hirings have been better. Hired a great manager, but they're molding a team that you can see. Oh, this is a team.
Yeah.
Putting together the best players. They're putting together the best team.
Right.
They just went and traded Andrew Kittredge, who's a good friend of mine. My wife and his wife are really close. They literally traded him to the Cubs and got him back. And it's not just because of what he can do on the mound. It's because that guy was incredible for the young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And was better than. And that's what I'm saying. So, balance here, and that's why enough money. And if you were a free agent, would you even come to Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Because of the narrative that's been set. No, they wouldn't.
Well, I'm obviously not like I was saying that with like a new owner, like owner comes in who's willing to spend.
If he comes in and does things drastically different, like the Baltimore used them as an example, they moved the fences back, their pitching went improved better. They moved them in when they became a more offensive this past year. It didn't go well. They made up things. I'm interested to see if it was because there was some just mashup between old and new, right? Because the new was coming in and you still had Brandon Hyde at the top. Now they're bringing in all new.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wondering what's going to happen now, right? Is it really going to run? Because it should. They should have been the best team outside of maybe they had some pitching problems, but like they're showing that they can do some special things if they put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see the pressure on the field, those young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Figure out that balance, which getting guys who the whole aspect of it I think is really going to help. But that's the thing. There's a big, huge, like wave of things that could be done with the Pirates that aren't being done, that aren't necessarily Bob just spending more money on players. So I just want to throw that out there because like the reality of it is he's got money. He's spent money recently. I think there's a bigger problem of, where's the money allocated? What are they trying to do? You know, no right-handed hitter in America wants to come to PNC because your OPS, which I did the numbers, drops 11 to 15 points like that as soon as you show up, and that's your own ballpark. It's the worst hitting ballpark in pitcher, which this is if they good, go offense and pitching, or screw offense, find an identity there, go pitching all defense, and be the best at it. Score one more run every game that you can, and you'll be in the playoffs and you'll win. Because you have pitching and defense, you'll win. Right? But they're not doing that. They're not creating an identity. I don't know exactly what their plan is, but that's what the Orioles have done. And it wasn't a free agent that they went and got because they all got hurt and they all stunk this past year, right? So the reality of it is like that's never going to work. It didn't work for LA, right? Their bullpen is the most expensive bullpen in baseball, and it stunk the last 3 months. And not because those guys aren't good, it's because that's baseball. But they're starting pitching because they were under contract. Anybody's starting pitching over right in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. Making you guys think a little bit different about all this.
Right.
They're talking about having the floor, having the ceiling, and all these things with the salary cap. Does that really work? $330 million for the Pirates? No, right? Even if it's $100 million, does that really work? You're still talking about $230 million gap. So any owner that comes in, unless they're willing to spend like the Dodgers, how are they going to flip the Pirates?
That's where I was getting to, because like obviously the Pirates, they're not signing Kyle Tucker this offseason. They're not going to have the cash flow for that.
Right? Is that the right move? Even if they did, because he honestly.
Yeah, because that'd be the only guy they would sign.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, I'm not saying. I was trying to like get to what you were saying about the Orioles. Like, I'm not saying the Pirates need to be like top 10 and top 5 in payroll, but like they need to go from 29th to 15th. No, I agree.
See,
no.
I told you we could have a little back and forth with all this.
I love it. I'm all for it. Let's do this.
It's just not talked about, right? It's just cut and dry
too
often. It's not talked about. So it's the reality of like, what's the team's identity, right? Why did O'Neal Cruz drop so drastically this year, especially against lefties? He was top 5 in every offense against lefties from June 28th last year through the rest of the season. He was the baseball, I'm assuming, or at least bottom 5 in lefty year. So he took a giant step back. Ryan Reynolds took a giant step back. Kutch, you can go on and on. Only guy that actually hit his numbers was Horowitz. Those are the questions, because everybody played to their capability. They playoffs. That's the craziest part. But once again, you play to your best ability. If you're not, if there's not guys with an identity, this is my role. That's what the Dodgers do so good. That's what Baltimore has done well in the past. They did awful last year. That's what Blue Jays do incredibly well, right? Like, you know who's going to be in the lineup almost every day. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That's where I would start. You ask me like what is it going to take? That's the first step for me. And Paul Skeens has to be a Pirate for life, some way. Do it. Figure it out.
Well, how are you going to convince him to stay? Because like obviously, like you said, it's not all about spending money, but like, well, you got to spend at least a little bit. Like show him like, hey, you know, I'll go out there and get you a left fielder that can actually hit.
Or give somebody a chance to play left field every day. Like Jack Swinsky had 26 homers ago. He was our best home run hitter for 2 years in a row, and then completely disappeared.
Yeah.
There was your left fielder, right? He was a top 5 left fielder too, or center fielder at the time. Now he's not. So it's like, can you fix it internally and save some money? Can you bet on the right guys? Or is there someone out there that fits that culture, like I was saying with AJ Burnett? Whether they got lucky there or not, they nailed what we needed. And if he wasn't, Russell Martin worked. So like, there's that. Like, if you're going to win with a small market, you have to build. Yeah. And you have to play with what you have, not with what you want. And I think too often we wish we had and wanted instead of exactly with what we have. We can win with what we have. We just have to do it creatively. It starts for me betting on the right guys. So if you do go get a lefty or left fielder, it should be a left-handed hitter, right? At our ballpark.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just looking at it completely different. I'm so passionate about it because like the reality of it is like teams call me and they ask me these questions. The Pirates don't, and I hate it. I hate that they don't ask guys that have played there and worn that uniform, because that team matters. City matters to me. To your all's point, they deserve to win.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
They should win with on the planet.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just saying, like, he should. I'm not saying he needs to like go out and get Kyle Tucker, but like he should be able to like lash out some extensions. Like
No
Skeen
doubt.
should have been
No
extended in the minors.
No doubt.
Oh God, what's the other one? Jared Jones. He should have been extended in the minors too. That dude's also nasty. And you got
Bubba Chandler.
Bubba. Yep, that's what I was getting at. So, what do you think about
the number one prospect in baseball? Would be
Yeah,
Right.
Connor Griffin.
slam dunk right now, right? Like,
Tamar Johnson?
Tamar. So he just really becoming Tamar again. I felt like he fell off, but I feel like Connor's made him better. Yeah, we have some really good pieces. Right, like to that, locking these guys up. That's how you keep Skeens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to that
I don't
point,
think he's chasing money, right?
Right.
To that point,
legacy.
I'll ask this question that we have on here. You were just getting into the big prospects. Who is a sleeper or a couple sleeper prospects in our organization that don't get talked about that much that could make an impact down the road or maybe not that far down the road?
Ooh, good question. There's a couple Latin catchers that I watched in spring training. They do everything slow, which is a really good sign that they could be really good. I haven't got to see him call games and do stuff like that. One guy I'm really excited about is to see what Hunter Barco can do.
Oh yeah, he looks nasty. He looks real nasty.
Yeah, he's outstanding. But there's a lot of sleepers. That whole Greensboro team, for me, was a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Moss. I don't know if you know that name. He went to high A. We got him from Kansas City. He went completely bonkers.
Okay, yeah.
First baseman. So, guys, it's just an opportunity at the right time, and when they got to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing we've done because we're trying to piece things together all the time. We just lost Bay, we just lost Peguero, and some guys that got designated, but they never really played every day.
Yeah, they never got those consistent at bats.
Yeah, because it's really hard. I played backup role a lot in my career. It was a learning curve for me. I played a premium position. I was really good with my relationship with the pitcher, so it kept. And if I didn't get those 50 at bats, I would have never figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's so hard to figure that out at the big league level. You've never ever bench, and now you're doing it against the best in the world. Hey, go hit throwing 98. His name's Chris Sale, I think. He's okay. Go figure it out.
God.
Never seen anybody like him, but go figure it out.
I can't even hit him in MLB The Show. I can't imagine hitting him in real life.
I would get nightmare him on Halloween on the show. That's how you don't turn him on. Really? You kidding me? He's a freak.
Oh my. Yeah, without a doubt. So do you think Don Kelly's the guy removing the interim tag? Because I have thoughts about it, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
I'd love to hear your all's thoughts. I do love the roots. I believe that the best teams have roots in the city. So when we traded David Bednar, I hated it. But like the reality of it is like when Derek was here, he rented his place. And anybody that doesn't have roots, like when Hurdle was here, he had a house. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something to that. So Don came from here, marrying Neil Walker's sister. He has roots, strong ties here. That matters, dude. Kutch wanting to be here and he lives here matters because it is a great family. You come here, there are so many ex-Steelers and ex-Penguins that live in the city.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Way more than the actual Pirates because it's a great place to raise a family. You've got to double down on that. And Don Kelly's the guy that has deep roots here that I think could make it work. There's a lot of question marks to me when it comes to what's coming down. The information matters, and how much does he have the control on the given day. If he gets the same ability as the LA manager, I think he's going to win for sure.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. So I'll give my thoughts first. So
yes, please.
And this is nothing about like Don specifically, but anytime there's an interim manager that gets the interim tag removed, it makes me a little nervous because they were a part of the staff that didn't work. And it's this, I don't want to say it's the same voice, but it's a similar voice with similar messaging. Sometimes, like with the Orioles, if we would have kept Mansolino, I would have been pissed. Nothing wrong with Tony. Tony's a great dude, and he did a great job as the interim. But if we would have hired him, I would have been pissed because it's the same message. It's the same BS that didn't pan out this year. So, like, it's the same thing with Don Kelly. Like, nothing personal with Don. It's just keeping an interim versus bringing in a new outside voice that might, get the message through in a different way. It just makes me nervous. But I don't know Don like the way you do or the city of Pittsburgh knows him. But that's just my thoughts as a baseball fan.
If he keeps doing what he had to fight to get that title moved away from him. He's completely Eric Shelton. It's probably why they worked. But when you talk about even the way he approaches guys, it has no similarity to Shelton. So I do think he had a huge separation, but I do think he had to prove it to the veteran guys. And I'm hoping that continues going into next year, that he really gets that voice. When he hired Gene as the bench coach, hiring a 76-year-old man that didn't want to be there, that literally hated everybody. Like, he was there for Donnie.
Yeah, he was basically like, yeah.
Yeah, he was his goon. Like I remember one day Donnie was about to just go irate on, and Gene just pulled me back, and I just started laughing. I was like, dude, he's just his dad. He's his baseball dad. He's telling him what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, the old adages of the game, and I thought it was the perfect hire because it didn't matter about the X's and O's, it didn't matter about analytics, it didn't matter about the name. He wanted a guy that would tell him the truth.
Yeah.
He's the perfect guy. He obviously won't be back, but it was a chance for him to learn how to really manage and what big league managing is all about in an old school fashion. So that, for me, kind of pushed me forward with Donnie. I know him as a human. I love him. That doesn't mean you're a good manager. Doesn't mean you're going to figure out right away. It usually takes time, but he did the right thing, which is not easy to do. It could have easy to make that hire that would have saved face. He did the hard one, which was really cool.
Yeah.
How you feel about it, Luke?
I like Donnie Kelly. I'm ready for this next season to see what he can do with the full season. Once he got in there, it just seemed like the team had a completely different vibe. It felt like, to me at least, I don't know about you, Fort, but under Shelton, especially to start off this past 2025 season, that first couple of months, we were kind of just playing, uninspired baseball there for a while. And then that flip switched when Donnie Kelly came in there. So that's kind of my take on it, and that's why I'm excited for the season coming up.
I'm gonna bring Jordan in on this. Jordan, you played sports growing up. Would you rather play loose and free, or like under a microscope? And I feel like those were the two differences.
Right.
Loose and free for sure.
Yeah, because like everybody knew Shelton had, and they literally had that message at spring training, is like, we're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't about the team. It was also about his job.
Yeah.
So I think the pressure of that just rained down on those guys.
Yeah.
And then when he was gone, that freedom came immediately. And Donnie's a little bit more low key until he's not. So Jordan, you can express that to everybody that's listening. The reality of it is like being able to play free at the highest level is the greatest gift ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to ask you. So let's call a spade. Okay, those 2027 season's going to be shortened, and everyone that knows baseball knows why, without a doubt.
I haven't really thought too much into it.
I hope to God not, but I kind of have to agree.
I knew 2027 was going to be shortened as soon as Bryce Harper got in Rob Manfred's face and told him to get the fuck out of his clubhouse. I knew right then and there 2027 is going to be shortened because players' associations dug in. They don't want a salary cap, and I don't blame them because I'm on the side that athletes deserve what they get paid. I'm not saying that like obviously like cops and firefighters and nurses and stuff should be paid millions of dollars as well. That's not what I'm saying. But like when you talk about athletes, the revenue they generate, they're the one generating the revenue. Yeah. They deserve to have it.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. But the players are stuck in that they don't want a salary cap, and I get it because you don't want to cap what you make. You're worth what someone's willing to pay. And the owners, people like Bob Nutting and what's his face in Oak for the A's, Fisher, they want salary caps, and so both sides are very dug in. And I just want to know how you think this is going to end. Do you think we're getting a cap, or do you think we're going to stay as is?
I'm going to throw it back at you guys and say, if there's no reason to even talk about a cap.
What's up?
If there's no floor, there's no conversation about the cap.
Oh yeah, the floor's definitely coming with the cap, no doubt.
Well, yeah. So I would say like, what do you guys think? Or start is the first like step to that conversation of an actual cap, because like we do have a soft cap. It probably in Bob and the A's owners like is in place. because the penalties they receive are remarkable, dude. $40 million he's going to receive next year from LA. Thank you. Now, how they allot that money and how they spend that money, maybe that has to be transparent. But none of this is ever going to matter until all of it is a little bit more transparent. Because like if he gets $40 million and he's spending it on what he thinks is important when it comes to player development, but the Cubs spend $40 million and it's a better spent, but they also have $40 million to spend in player acquisition. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you can't catch up in personnel. So like there's a lot that goes into it because they don't talk about the cap when it comes to the Cubs are outspending the Pirates, rough estimate, $45-50 million a year in player development. So how are we ever going to catch up? We can go buy every player, but if they have stuff to make you better, a free agent's going to go there instead of here.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if our stuff is secret. Like go look at Toronto's. My wife showed me this. Go look at their family room, their new clubhouse, their new weight room, and their new bullpen. And you figure out why everybody wants to play there right now.
Yeah.
And the taxes are through the roof, right? What you get there is half of what you're going to get anywhere else. Vladdy signed there for $500.
Yeah.
It's going to be $250.
It's the culture.
Actually, he was smart. He got it all in bonuses, so they pay out while he's living in Florida. So it saved him like $100 million. I saw.
Yeah. So another thing we have not done in Pittsburgh. So it's like, it's those things. I think those things are coming. I hope they're coming. But like these teams that really want to do things different are doing it different on the back end, which is not going to be controlled by the salary cap or floor. And I think it's hilarious that people aren't like talking about it. If you spend $1 million a year on a family, like the player's family, and another team spending $100,000 and has an intern handling it all, the team that's spending $1 million and has a full-time representative is going to get every free agent possible. Because every wife and little girl and little boy that's happy, the player's playing better. Period. Every time. And it's not talked about.
Yeah.
And I've seen teams like Cleveland, like Toronto, like New York, and what comparative to other teams, it's night and day. So even if they did, it won't matter. So the cap won't matter unless it's a full picture. So the floor is the only thing that could even be possible. The best benefit for everybody. You
Yeah.
just say, we're going to pay you $40 million. Yeah, we're going to go over. But what are we going to cap it at? $380? You can't, come on, dude. That's your revenue for the year. Good luck. Right?
Yeah.
Good luck.
I don't think it'll be that high.
Well, but it's already what, $330?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers and like teams like that would have to shed. I think it would come more towards like the median. I would guess around like 250.
But after this World Series, so we'll have the little talk about it. Like we just had viewership in 34 years.
Yeah.
The argument is make the worse. No, you can't make that argument now, right?
Yeah.
Make them, like they got to stay where they're. Like the argument's like no. When it comes to bringing it down, you can't. Because
Hey, you're preaching to the choir, brother. I don't want a cap. I don't want a cap.
I don't either because we already have a soft cap.
Yeah.
Like, luxury tax.
We have the luxury tax. In all honesty, should help. Now they could change the draft, right? I think they should be able to change where you can actually trade for first-round draft picks. You want to make the Pirates really good? Let us have 4 first-round draft picks.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right? Have an international draft. No more international pool money. Like, just do a full-fledged 6, round draft, whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
If you are a lower-tier team trying to win, getting above the floor, give them more money to spend in the draft.
Yeah, no, that's great.
That's how you change it, right?
Yeah.
Or expand. You can expand too. If you spread out the talent, that would help too.
Well, the luxury tax is working because the Yankees famously didn't get Blake Snell because of it.
Exactly. I mean, you got to think a little, right? And I just think like if they can just marry an understanding that like we want to make the game better for the fans and not just pay, because in all honesty, the players that's this many players theoretically, right? Because 1% of all the guys that ever play the game get to that 6-year free agent. Paul Skeens should be making $50 million a year right now.
Easily.
For what he's doing for the, right? But that's not the way it works. Now he's going to get paid extra. They have a new thing where these guys, 4 or 5%, they get paid the luxury fee or whatever it is. But Yeah, that's what's got to change. It's like what's happening in the game. Game's being better. So we mess with the top side. Let's make the bottom side come up. And that's an argument I hope they have. So if they don't, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Luke, you got a question about that, about the Dodgers and their spending?
Yeah, right. So like as we kind of just went into, you know, we all just watched, you know, probably one of the best World Series we'll ever see in our lifetime. You know, just conclude last Saturday night, you know, with the Dodgers winning that Game 7. So just on more of the Dodgers in specific, like what are your thoughts on, you know, maybe the advantage that they have monetarily, bringing in, you know, the top 3 Japanese stars and all of the extra revenue that you know, brings to that team and how they operate. What are your thoughts on that in comparison to the rest of the league?
How do you beat them, Fort?
You definitely do what they're doing, at least. Right? Like, I mean, like they deferred money, right? Which is brilliant, especially there is a salary cap. They can't go back and bang them for that, right? So you're not going to push away these guys. Signing high character dudes, right? What Yoshi Yamamoto did. There's a lot of dudes in the league that would not have done that. They would not have put themselves at risk. But winning in their culture matters more than $1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In our culture, a Lamborghini matters more than, right? Like, that's reality. Like, one thing I can tell you, when you win a championship, whether it's in Pee Wee ball or whatever, you always have that championship. Those Lamborghinis stop working at some point.
It's true.
Those guys understand that. They understand tradition and what it means. So they're signing the right guys from Japan at the right amount of money, and they're taking too, because a lot of those guys come over and get hurt, but they're taking risk on great. So they're winning the human being right. If you listen to all our interviews, those dudes were just a giant team. Miguel Rojas hitting that home run in Game 7, but not playing the first 4.
That was great. That was the moment of the series for me.
But if he was on the, like, we would want him designated because he's IKF, right? That's the reality of what you look at. Like, if you see people for what they are, he's a defensive guru at multiple positions, you know, run into the ball every now and then, but he was there just for his personality. They called him the hype guy. He was the energy guy, and they signed him to a lot more money than other teams would have because they valued that because of the team they had. That's what the Dodgers, they're one when it comes to development. They're number 1 in all of baseball, year in, year out. They have the most top 100 prospects again. Just different, dude. And what they did for Kershaw, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That was so
people
cool.
People were saying Kutch's last year was this year. If it was his last year, nothing.
Yeah.
Sad.
So it goes back to that. Like, they're doing everything right.
Right.
Everything. Right? And they have the longest, I believe now, tenured manager.
I think so.
I challenge everybody, when you get a chance, and you guys do this when you get off, go look at their baseball operations. Count the number of people, and then go to every other team. And
Baseball
then assume
ops,
that there's,
man.
yeah, their baseball ops is bigger than everybody else's.
Wow.
The
Okay.
best.
So that's pretty much what other teams have to do, because obviously, like, the Mets spent more money than the Dodgers, and we saw how
The
their
Mets are
season
getting
was.
close. Now that man impressed me. When Steve Cohen spent all the money and then just said, I messed up, and rehired everybody and redid the entire organization, I was like, oh, this man's getting it. He's understanding that he has to be a baseball guy, and he's building that entire $1 billion, like, mecca around the stadium, just like the Braves did. So he can incorporate it and make a ton of money, and they can't take away from it. Major League Baseball has no control over it. Dude, brilliant. The guy's brilliant. They're going to put sustained winning at the top of their list for a long time because of what they're doing. You watch.
Oh, you think it's soon?
Yeah, I think they won this year. They're going to win next year. 100%.
Okay, because they collapsed down the stretch, and they ended up missing the playoffs despite having the best record. What was it, in June they had the best record in
Yeah,
baseball?
I remember at one point they were like not even that far into the season. They were like 20 or 25 games over 500. Maybe, yeah, like June-ish.
They're going to be really good. Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think about the Orioles? Since we're talking about teams that may or may not be really, really good, I don't expect us to go out and sign like Kyle Tucker, or even I don't even expect us to get Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease would be so sick, but I don't think we're going to do that. Or even Valdez. Valdez would also be sick, but I don't think we're going to do that. So what do you think the Orioles are going to – do you think we're bouncing back?
I think you guys have a chance to be the Cubs next year.
Okay.
Oh, God damn it.
That's good.
The Cubs had a good season.
The Cubs should have won our division, but the Brewers took over. It all depends on what they're willing to give up to get the arms they need. They need starting pitching. They have one or two guys that are good. They need a guy. Where they go, I'm not real sure, but they need to do it via trade and then try to sign him long term.
I'm about to say it was too inconsistent this year.
Yeah, the pitching was too inconsistent. You could see those guys trying to make up for it. But if you guys stay healthy, which you didn't, if you guys stay healthy, you're going to be good next year. You're going to have a high-energy manager, a go-getter. He's going to have a really good. So I think there's going to be a lot of good going for you, and you're going to be in a division that is going to be really, really strong. But I think the offense could carry it enough.
Yeah, because the AL East is 5 deep, so we got to do something about it. Because Bradish is a dude.
Everybody's going to be good. Yeah, Bradish is sick.
But what do you think about Trevor Rogers? Do you think he's going to – obviously he's not going to be a 1.7 or whatever he had this year, but do you think he could be like a 2.5 guy next year?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? You find a balance. I always say try to find the balance of the to the worst year, and there's somewhere in between, right? But you can have stretches if you have the right matchups or everything's just away, that where you rattle off, like Paul Skeens, 1 point higher, right? You could look at every number. They were actually probably a little bit better, but like he's pitching on a losing team. What if we were a winning team? Would he have a 1?
He probably would have been like a 1.5, yeah.
Right, circumstances and situations matter. If you draw the Brewers 3 times and they're in that 3 winning streaks games, you're in bad shape, right? Doesn't matter who you are. They even beat up on Paul Skeens when they were hot.
It's who you face and when you face them.
Yeah, there's part of that goes into it, but you're never like 3 or 4 runs difference. You're usually right in the middle of the pack. Like a 3-1, 3-2.
I'll take it.
A 2, right? It
I'm
is a
good
little
with
harder
that.
to pitch in Baltimore in the AL East, but at the end of the day, he's shown that he can do it. Why not do it again?
Well, we're so close then because we'll have Bradish. Bradish is an ace. I don't care what people say. He just hasn't caught mainstream media yet.
I agree, but I say that Paul Skeens, you want to say this. Paul Skeens is an ace. Like, if you can say Scooble Skeens, try to think can be an ace on a given day. Because if you take that expectation away from him, when Mitch Keller was not the ace, he had his best year, right? When Jared Jones realizes he's going to be a closer, he's going to be dominant.
You think Jones is going to the bullpen?
I want him to. That's just
I've had that
thought
too. I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I always deem so based on personality. I tag guys like that guy would be great in the bullpen. I'm not saying he would be a good starter. I'm saying profiles, the way he moves. You look at Spencer Strider, he's had 2 surgeries in the big leagues.
Yeah.
I don't want that for Jones, right? So throw him in the back of the bullpen. Let him throw.
That would be sick. I thought he was going to be a reliever because he was only a 2-trick pony. He's only got that fastball slider. I mean, you can't really go too far with 2.
Yeah, that's true. And I think he could get a split if he went out there.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Oh God, dude.
That would be pretty nasty coming from him.
Please don't tell me that.
Yeah, his release and everything plays. So then he'd be so north-south with that gyro-type slider. He'd be unhittable in the bullpen.
Oh, that's why I said please don't tell me that.
Right, but that's kind of teams. It's hard to make that move.
Right.
But if you signed him and said this is what you're going to be,
this is your role. Yeah.
He's like done. I'm in. Right.
I remember the Orioles refused to put Zach Britton in the bullpen, and then they finally did, and he should have won Cy Young that year.
100%.
Yeah.
But Luke and I, we're gonna.
I could see Britton. I got to face him a bunch. I could see why, because he profiled well as a starter, but I didn't know him as a person. Maybe his personality fit to where, dude, he just looked natural out there.
Yeah.
That sinker.
He threw absolute bowling balls. Absolute bowling balls.
Yeah. But he did as a starter. He just couldn't hold that velocity.
Yeah.
Right.
So you would see the guy one day, be like, man, he was good today. Next year,
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke and I, we're going to be in attendance for the Pirates home opener because they're playing the Orioles. So me and my fiance, we're making the trip up to Pittsburgh. We live in Maryland, so it's not a bad drive. It's only 3-4 hours, so it's not too terrible. So we're gonna ride up there for Pirates opening day. So very excited to see both of our squads out there.
Yeah, have you ever been here? You guys ever been here?
I've been to Pittsburgh.
You've never been to PNC
twice.
Park though.
No, I've never. I've only come for football season. So first time I came was a few years ago. Because my fiance is a Steelers fan.
Same here.
So
nice.
yeah, so
Yeah,
the first, so we came up here. So we went up there for a Ravens Steelers game, and then we went up a second time. It was last year. I proposed to her in Pittsburgh. So both times we went for football.
Oh, look at you.
There you go.
Yeah.
On Mount Washington. On Mount
Luke
Washington.
was the cameraman.
I was the cameraman.
Nice. What's her name? What's her name?
Oh, her name's Haley.
Oh, Haley. You're welcome, Haley. Pittsburgh's the best.
And she knows ball too. If she was in here right now, she would be chopping it up too. She's got some bold takes.
I love it. Yeah. When you guys come, make sure to reach out. I'd love to meet up.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Say less. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you have about baseball? I like these questions.
I have a hard-hitting question. I'm sorry, guys. This wasn't on our list. It just came to my mind.
Good. Do it.
I have to ask the F.O.T.T this as a catcher.
Not the way first, only because I've been very lackadaisical.
Let Jordan go first. Let Jordan go first.
Oh, Jordan. Jordan, go ahead. Then I'll ask mine.
Mike, I'm not really.
You're supposed to speak up with that
I know.
poster in the background.
Let me say. Oh yeah, I see. I'm like, Cole will tell you. I'm very much. I just came on the baseball very late. I'm a football guy, so I grew up playing football. So like very much so baseball.
Welcome to the bright side.
Yeah, baseball been a learning curve. I work with the O's, so like now I'm really starting to learn.
Awesome.
But this one is more so from like a player's perspective, I guess. Also ties into some of our questions earlier. But how do you stay focused during like a long season? Because that's a lot of games.
Good question,
You
Jordan.
don't, bro.
Yeah.
I told you that you do. You don't. I think the biggest thing is like you can't. Everybody talks about a routine. You need a routine, but you can't fall in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be adaptable, and you have to get away from the game. If I didn't have my wife throughout the minor leagues and even into the big leagues, like I got so locked in on what I was doing and what I was chasing. Even the wins I walked into, I was already on to the next thing. So I think it's owning and seeing the wins that have developed on them, so you understand. Taking time to walk around the parks when you go, see the rich history, getting in the scoreboard at Boston, doing things that you should do. I think Skeens is doing an incredible job of that. And just reflecting, hey, dude, I'm in the big leagues. Like, I need to embrace this, right? And then, so when you need to get away, get away. For me, it was always breakfast, a walk in the city.
Yeah.
I wish I would have done more. I honestly do. Just to let my brain kind of redevelop a mindset for the day, because you get so caught up in all of it, all the, whether you play 3 days in a row, 5 days in a row, one every 5, you're locked in so hard that when you go to bed at night, you're exhausted. So it's like, how can you shift from that? Some guys play video games. I used to read and watch movies and anything to kind of like shift my brain away from it. But it's very difficult because you have autograph people there. So you're turning on, and it feels like you never get to turn off. It's like, where can you find that off button?
Yeah.
It's how you stay focused, which is probably the most, right? Like, find that off button so you can turn back on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
You got another baseball question, Jordan?
I do. So this one is also kind of like player oriented, but this is mostly for you. So other than dunking on LeBron, what would you be doing if you didn't do baseball?
Oh. I probably would have been a professional meathead. Yeah, like I would have probably just been spinning iron constantly.
Okay.
Wow.
Room. Now it's hard to get in there consistently, but I think just trying to someone's performance physically in a vulnerable like scenario, like lifting weights. I don't know if there's anything better. The best strength coaches or the best guys had trained me. It didn't matter about the gym side of it.
Yeah.
It mattered about that workout that you literally just feel like you can't get through, and they're right there next to you, and you get through it, and you sit down afterwards, whether it's have a beer or a cigar or whatever. I used to smoke a cigar and jump hurdles. You would do anything and everything but it was really that my mentality that was getting me to that next stage of my development evolution, and it was the best. So that's probably what I'd be doing. Some people say I would do cells really well, but I would have to be in the weight room, I think.
Okay, you think more so like from a bodybuilding perspective, or like a trainer?
No, like a
like athletic performance training.
yeah, human performance side.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Wow.
I do a lot of it now when it comes to like personal player development, but I would want to do it in like Rocky Balboa type place.
Yeah.
Wow. So the one thing I have to ask.
Give me Creed in Mexico, Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Training dog. Oh yeah.
You want to be different this time.
Yeah.
He said.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Exactly. But I mean, when somebody wants it, right? Like I always think about, if you guys have never read it, it's the guy that trained Jordan. I can't think of his book right now off the top of my head, but like Jordan seeked him out. He went all in and went all in. Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and it is like I tell guys all the time that I work with, whether it's leagues or whether it's 12 years old, define what you want. I'll help you create a journey to get there. There's going to getting off on that journey the right way. Right, it is, you can create a path better than ever before with analytics, numbers, understanding of what you need to do. The question is, are you willing?
Yeah.
And if you chase the big thing, finally accept, you know what? I'm not willing to do what Kobe did. So you're not going to be Kobe, right? Like that's okay.
I mean, the dude was a maniac.
There's JJ Redick, right? He was pretty good.
Not everyone's Kobe, yeah.
Not everybody's Kobe.
Maniac.
He when people say they squeeze their orange the most when it comes to their ability and talent, that's what he did. He just happened to be crazy.
God gifted.
Way better. Could have been way better than I was, but there's things that you sacrifice in your life to say, hey, this is important too, right? But some guys can just completely black out and go Halloween theme song for 24 hours straight before they go play, so they have no emotion, and other guys can't. And you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
I think every guy can if they really want to, but if you do, there's consequences there too, which he's spoken on, which I love. And the fact that he found faith and he's a great dad before he passed away is incredible to me. Guys can't shift. That just shows how strong he was mentally and physically.
Yep.
Yeah, it's walking a very fine line.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
You're a maniac.
At a high level, yeah, you're a psychopath. But it's like, how much of that psycho guy are you going to let out?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to be Hainsworth and get smacked? Oh, do it again. I'm not even leaving. Right? Right?
No,
You got to make that decision. Right? Who's the guy that had a locker that was like an alter ego? Right? Like, you make decisions. Like, if you're that guy, like, how do you turn him off? Right? It's like that poster behind you is perfect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
They're both right. One's doing good, one's doing bad.
All right, Luke, what's your question?
Oh yeah, my question that kind of came into my mind. I can't believe we didn't put this on our little sheet to start. As a catcher, I have to ask you this: the whole Framber Valdez cross up situation.
Oh, I forgot.
How did you view that as an MLB catcher?
Good question.
Context.
What's
Do you
that?
think he crossed him?
Yeah, do you
I
think?
think that's what he's
Yeah,
asking.
I mean, I think we can all agree that it was
Says
intentional.
fast. It literally goes fastball away,
Yeah,
like third ball down. That's how it sounds. Right?
yeah,
There's no way to miss it.
yeah. So like,
right?
it just in that situation, if I have it correctly, the catcher for the Astros was like their third guy. It was like a guy they had just called up that really might have not had much say, or not that he didn't have any say. That like Valdez is obviously in a higher point of his career than this guy who was maybe playing in his 5th MLB game. So how does that kind of look like in the dugout afterward, after something like that just happened?
Probably would have as a player in that kid situation, because he was a kid, he can't handle it much differently. He's not gonna call out the ace of the staff,
Right.
on national television. But there's somebody in that locker room that should have. And later on in my career, I took that role. I would step in where you don't want it to get to the staff, so I was the in-between.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to keep it in the clubhouse. Like, if that would have happened and I was a veteran guy, even if I was a backup, I would have had words with him. Because it's not just about what happened. Yeah, somebody could have gotten hurt. It's not even that. It's like that dude just literally showed he doesn't care about anything else but himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you had words with them, what would that conversation kind of look like?
It depends on him.
Okay.
So every dude you treat differently.
Everybody has
He
different.
could be
personalities.
Tommy Tough Guy, right? Out on the mound. Like he gave the boo-boo face, caught it, turned around. And then the fact that he didn't say he was pissed and, I just didn't hear it. I did throw the wrong pitch. He literally just kind of went with the narrative. It drove me insane.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Tommy Tough Nuts, you're not really tough if you can't actually take complete consequence of what you did, right? So, one, knowing that, like, I would just go up to him, I'd call him on it, let him lie to you, and then be like, bro, that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're talking about this system has been in place for 4 years. You've not had one cross-up. Today, with a rookie.
In that situation, after you
When you're
just given
already
up a
pissed
home
off
run.
at him.
Yeah, nothing happened after the fact. There was no sense of remorse. There was no sorry. There was no look in your eye. Please, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you did this on purpose, and if you didn't, like, what's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Yeah.
like that, something needed to happen. It's the same thing as like when something happens, you bring it, you get it out there, you move, right? How many people, like, I use Ortiz, dude's in the Hall of Fame. Bonds isn't. Ortiz failed and was on a list. Bonds,
Yeah.
who's in the light and who's not. Ortiz
Yeah.
is all over TV. You see his personality, you forget about it. He came out and said, "I'm sorry." Big Bob. Right? Bonds
Yankees
Yeah.
lose.
That's the difference, man. Like, so, like, for me, like, I wouldn't even want to sign. I hope Valdez gets crushed unless he's willing to apologize and sit down with these teams and say I made a mistake.
Yeah, because he's a free agent. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I
sign him. He
guarantee
said he
every
wanted.
team that wants him forgot already.
That's the problem with baseball. So the team that signs him, when he's not the guy, say he signs with the Yankees, he's your
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be
he's
pissed.
not going to like that. Yeah.
Luke, you got any more
maybe,
questions for
maybe
the
that's
fort?
where he thrives. I don't know. Like, but at the end of the day, who he was, are you going to get that guy or the competitive guy we've seen in the past?
Right.
Right.
And
Did that happen that day? What was going on in his life? The fact that he doesn't bring it, he could have been having the worst day of his life.
yeah, you don't know
They could
that.
have been in a fight. That guy could have. We don't know. We have no clue. But if they would have just said something like, "Hey, there's something going on. We got it under control," everybody would have dropped it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I think the NFL does a really good job of that. Baseball
Yeah.
does not.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more questions for the fort, Luke?
Final question. We'll kind of wrap it up here. What do you think the Pirates' ceiling is in 2026? Best case scenario, what do you think is going to happen for this team in this upcoming year?
Best case scenario, they have two guys that run in the Rookie of the Year voting, and Valdez and Connor Griffin. Tamar Johnson makes his debut and pushes Nick Gonzalez to third base. Connor Griffin starts the year. Skeens, Bubba, and one other guy, don't know who it would be, all strike out 200 plus.
Ashcraft, maybe?
Ashcraft or Burrows, depending on how they go.
Okay.
So we have a staff that strikes out over 1,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Is if you want to talk about best case scenario, O'Neal Cruz drops 30, steals 50, and is an all-star for the first time. Brian Reynolds has a Brian Reynolds type touch, had a historic year, and we make the playoffs and make it to the World Series because of our pitching.
Okay.
You just need to take it to the dance.
See, Cole, when I talk about the Pirates getting to the World Series, you think I'm crazy, but now, see, Ford has the vision too. We got the same vision.
there's a like I think Connor Griffin should be our starting shortstop opening day. There's a lot of ifs, but like if the best players are on the field opening day throughout, there's no reason why we can't run really strong towards the. My only fear is I don't know the volume that these guys can handle because they've never had to handle it.
That is true.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, and you can't win the pennant in April, but you can surely lose it.
Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. Yeah, I think I think too often if we can stay afloat the first couple months with young guys, I think we'll take off. Right? Like that's my personal like opinion on the team, because like athletic ability and talent with great dudes like Connor Griffin, Tamar, I've heard this Valdez kid that's breaking in the fall league is a good dude. You give them a little bit of time and a runway to figure it out. All of a sudden, June, you look up and you're like, oh, we still have Skeens, Bubba, Barco, Ashcraft, Burrows. It's coming back. You know, Keller. Oh my God, we're good.
Yeah. With Jones closing it out in the bullpen.
I just think that'd be so sad.
I'm right with you there. That thought has crossed my mind too, and I'm glad that you think the same way.
Yeah, and I think I got a question for you guys. Did you see what they did this year with the pitching? They were floating guys in and out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Will probably think this. I've never seen this before. Never seen a top #1 pitching prospect all baseball got called up and went to the bullpen.
Yeah.
The last time that I could find that happened was with David Price going into the playoffs. I've never seen it on a losing team, right? 2 times out, goes 4 innings, both times.
And it worked. Yeah.
But then he started and struggled, but he never went back. But Ashcraft in the bullpen came to a start and went back out there. So did Burrows. I've never seen the float like that. And they said they were trying to control the innings. Different way to go about it. But, man, that had to be messy with the routine and the conversations.
Yeah.
And, like, still to today, I've never seen it. But I think there's a gift there when it comes to Jones and those guys of what they could, because you're going to take the best arms.
Yeah, that's true. And especially if you get into a playoff situation, just having that bullpen experience to go in there and get, multiple innings, that could be huge.
Yeah, and I wish they would have explained that to fans. Like, what did they actually do? I don't even know if the players knew.
They probably didn't.
It turned out really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Jordan, you got any final questions for the Fort?
I think that's it.
Anything comes to mind?
I think I got all my bases covered. I just want to say thanks, Fort, for coming on. This was really awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Fort. So go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
At the Fort McKenry, all platforms. Yeah, come follow the Fort. Do a lot of baseball stuff on there.
Yeah, Fort, thank you for coming on. We'd love to have you back on again. This conversation was absolutely awesome. But for all our flag throwers out there, you guys know how we end this.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
No, we are not. We will see y'all next week. See ya.
Let's go.